everybody. My name is Luis. As Sebastian mentioned, I'm the travel specialist on Bolivia. Nice to meet you all. I have the opportunity to work with someone of you. Nice to see you again. I'm going to share my screen and doing the presentation. Okay. Well, let's start about Bolivia. Okay, I'm going to start here. Bolivia is divided into three zones, three regions, Andes, Valley, and Amazon. Most of the people that visit Bolivia is go to the Andes, especially because they go to uni. That is the highlight. But you have to know that Bolivia is more than Andes. It's Valley also, where is Sucre, that is the capital of Bolivia, and also the Amazon, that is very nice in Bolivia. We have the part of Ruenabaque where you can find the lodges. It's different than other lodges that you visit maybe in Peru or maybe in other countries. In the Amazon of Bolivia is have the opportunity of lodges very standards. So we sell the experience to be in the jungle. It's not too luxury. Okay. Well, all you know that Bolivia is in the South America. Okay. This is important information about Bolivia. As I mentioned, the capital of Bolivia is Sucre. No, most of the people think that La Paz is the capital, but it's not. La Paz is where the government palace is, no, but the capital is Sucre. Also mention about the restrictions or the requirements to enter to Bolivia in about the visa. No, Americans need the visa. You can get the visa in the airport of La Paz or Santa Cruz because Bolivia has two international airports, or you can get it in your country. That is no problem in Bolivia, fortunately. No, you can get it in the country. And also, most of you mentioned about the yellow fever. This is not a mandatory, but is recommended. Okay, especially when passengers go to the jungle. If passengers go to La Paz or Santa Cruz, that is a little of jungle, but it's not the next into all the where is the lodges. Okay, so it's not necessary. It's not mandatory, but we recommend that. About also Pure Bolivia or Pure Travel Group gives to you, give passengers a letter to enter Bolivia if it's necessary. In this letter is the information about the hotels that passengers are going to stay with the information of passengers. It's like an invitation letter, okay? And we can give to your passengers, no problem on this. Why visit Bolivia? Bolivia has the half of the highest navigable lake in the world, that is Titicaca. It's one part of Peru and one part of Bolivia. Most of them are beautiful. All the different, really, I like both. I can decide for one. But in the Sun Island, you can find most authentic of the people that live in Bolivia. No, you can see the cholitas and also know about the story about Manco Cápac and Magbaoyo that start in the San Island. The Andean flamingo is one of the rarest flamingo species in the world. Yes, this you can find in Uyuni on the second day in Uyuni that I'm going to explain to you in the next pictures. Las Pampas, that is in Ruenabaque, where you can find the pink river dolphin. Also, you can find here in Bolivia. Also, you can check this animal. Calorco is the home highest density of dinosaur phototypes in the world. Calorco is in Sucre. It's a big museum that have in Sucre and is recommended for families and for childs that like a lot to see the dinosaurs. La Paz is the highest capital in the city in the world. Yes, it's about 3,600. And in La Paz, you can you can overnight in the center zone, that is the 3,600, and there are other hotels in the south zone, that is the luxury zone in La Paz, that is 3,200. Okay, so if passengers suffer about the altitude, we suggest to go to this part, to this zone. About the dirt road, one of the 10 most dangerous roads of the world in Bolivia. This is by bike, and also you can do it by car, but the adventure is by biking. So it suggests also for families, but with childs or kids about that 10 years old. And the salary unit, that is the highest, no? Well, about Bolivia, how to get Bolivia? Fortunately, we can get Bolivia for many parts. First, here is Casani Desaguadero. This border, Casani Desaguadero is border Peru and Bolivia. What is the difference? Most of you also want to visit the lake, Titicaca Lake of Bolivia and also of Peru. If you want to visit these two parts of the two zones of the lake, the best way is from Casani. From Casani to Copacabana is about 15 minutes. And then from Copacabana to La Paz by car is 3 hours and a half. Okay, so I'm going to explain you a little more when I get to this part in Copacabana. But this is one alternative, and the other alternative is from the Desaguadero, when you can visit Tiwanaku, and it's directly, so it's about 2 hours and a half. And La Paz is the international airport, and Santa Cruz is other international airport. Most of the flights, as you know, unfortunately, arrive very early in the morning, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So we suggest also passengers that have a pre-night to not uh, wait a lot of time in the hotel, no? Then Ito Cajon is the border of Bolivia and Chile, when you can start the tour Uyuni, and also in Villazón is the border Argentina and Bolivia, that also you can start a tour from here to do Uyuni. This is one of the transports that we have in Uyuni. It's not in all Bolivia, it's especially in Uyuni, that we can start maximum 4 passengers per jeep. Okay. Well, this is the Andes region. I'm going to talk the the city that we always talk with you. That is Titicaca, Lake, Copacabana, La Paz, Potosí, and Uyuni. Oruro is an important city when passengers wants to visit and check the carnival that is in February. Okay, that is important to visit. And in Cochabamba is most of passengers go to visit Toro Toro, where is the dinosaurs, and also it's a good city if you have incentive groups, because we have a lot of luxury hotels there. Okay. Well, here is about La Paz. Most of the time, passengers realize a city tours here. I suggest to stay maximum 3 nights in La Paz. The reason is because the first night is to acclimatize, because it's at an altitude, La Paz. So you can overnight then and walk inside the city, and then realize a city tour. The city tour, most of the city tour is visit the main square, Murillo main square, that is the center zone, and then passengers goes to the Moon Valley, that is in the south zone. This is a this tour you can do it with a half day, that is about 3 hours and a half. Okay, visit the center zone and the Moon Valley. This tour includes the cable car that you can see La Paz in the air. No, also it's possible to do a full day tour. Uh, most of the people now are visiting the cholets that has this nice architecture and nice and also strange architecture that have in Bolivia that are Andean Palace. Okay, this is in El Alto that is here, so you can do a full day visiting the city tour in La Paz and then go to the cholets. Here in Tiwanaku is, as I mentioned before, is when you can do it when you come from Peru and realize and stop here in Tiwanaku and then continue to La Paz to not go directly, so you can have and stop here to visit this important site in Bolivia. And also here is a place that you can get lunch. And Coroico is where you can find the dead road. Okay, so it's about 2 hours and a half. The dead road start about 7 a.m. That is the pickup in a shared service. And in a private service is I suggest also to pick the pickup at 8. No, it's about 2 hours. This is a full day tour and you can get lunch here. Chacaltaya is a snowy mountain. Unfortunately, about the weather and this change of weather or climate. And further, they are not too much snowy, but you can visit if you want to see the view of La Paz. This is La Paz. As you can see, it's very nice. There are most of the, as you can see, is houses. There are some new buildings. And this photo is from the Kilikili viewpoint that you can visit when you have a city tour in a full day. Okay, this is the famous stadium. And here is all the past. This is other photo about the Cathedral of La Paz. As you can see, it's very strange because this is very nice. And here there is have a nice a strange building in the colonial part of Bolivia that is very strange in Bolivia, but is part of. Wait, sorry. Then we have the Murillo Square, where is the government palace. Jaén Street, this is one of the touristic streets in La Paz. The witches market, which is very famous in Bolivia, is a lot esoteric, and this is the famous Equecos, with a man with a lot of money, and you can put a lot of things if you want, and very nice. It's like a souvenir. The famous cable car. Bolivia, La Paz has like 7 lines or 7 different colors of this transport. No. Now also we have the Moon Valley that is included in the city tour. We have two alternatives to visit the Moon Valley. One circuit have a duration of 20 minutes, and if you have passengers that don't like to walk at too much, and the other tour of Mumbai that takes 45 minutes. This decision is passengers decision. With the guide, we talk about that with the passengers, and they decide what is the that they like, no, the circuit that they like. Tiwanaku, uh, as I mentioned, as a archaeological, the famous Day Road, gastronomic, that have now Bolivia is very interesting to do it. We have also a gastronomic tour of about the center zone with the the meals more famous in Bolivia. Wellness that we have in the south zone with some luxury hotels, and this golf experience that we have near, as you can see, the Moon Valley that we can offer to your passengers. This is some hotels luxury that we have in the south zone. Most of them are there. This is the Atix Hotel, Camino Real, Casa Grande, that is the biggest hotel in La Paz. To incentive that we use this. Met Hotel, that is a new hotel that have about 4 or 5 years. And the Stanum, this is the only let me see, modern hotel in the central zone in La Paz. Now I'm going to talk about excuse me, the San Island or Copacabana. I will start first in the Saguadero. As I mentioned, this is the border, Peru and Bolivia. Okay, most of the people most of passengers when decide to do a multi-country, they decide to start from here because it's, as you can see, it's like shorter, no, and you can visit Tiwanaku. It's possible to visit Tiwanaku and Copacabana in the same day, yes, but it's uh, a long day, and you are going to start in La Paz, go to Tiwanaku, that is 2 hours, but you have to return to La Paz because there is no another route and go to Copacabana. On this day, only you are going to arrive to Copacabana to overnight because you are going to arrive about 4 or 5 o'clock. So it's not too easy and a little dangerous to navigate the Titicaca Lake uh, about that hour. Okay, but it's possible to do. And next day you are going to San Island to visit. This part of Tikina, we have an adventure experience that you passengers can do the zip line here, cross the Titicaca Lake in this zip line. Um, Here also you can do. I suggest also to all passengers to do 2 days, 1 night in Copacabana. The reason is because from La Paz to Copacabana is about 3 hours and a half, 4 hours. So you start at 7 a.m. and you are going to arrive about 11 a.m. Then you are going to take a boat from Copacabana to San Island that takes about 1 hour and a half. This trekking here to visit San Island takes about 1 hour and a half. Depends the physique of passengers. Okay. And then you are going to return to La Paz. So it's a full day. It's very tired. We can do it, but most of passengers mention that it start at 7 a.m. and you finish about 8 or 9 o'clock. You'll be in La Paz. So it's very long day. So it's better to arrive to Copacabana, take the boat, overnight in San Island if you prefer, or you can overnight in Copacabana. It depends of passengers. And the second day in the afternoon, take your private transport and return to La Paz. Okay. If you want to visit the Moon Island, also is possible in a full day or in 2 days, 1 night. I suggest, as I mentioned, 2 days, 1 night because it's better to visit with calm all this part. From Sun Island to Moon Island is about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, more or less. Okay. And from here, from Moon Island to Copacabana is about 1 hour, 20 minutes, more or less. Okay. So that is the reason I always suggest today 1 night. It's possible to do a private transport. Also, it's possible to do with public transportation. Um, but we have only one schedule to return that is about 1:30 o'clock in the afternoon. So most of the passengers can go to Copacabana, but that time is too short to visit all the things that are here. This is one of the photos that we have from the view from the San Island, and this photo is from Copacabana. Okay, as you can see, this is the port, and from here we have the boat that goes to San Island. Well, there here is the in Copacabana. This is the church of Copacabana that you can visit on the second day when you overnight there. Also, in a full day, you can visit, but very, very fast because we have to go to San Isla with the boat. As I mentioned, in La Paz, you have the witches market, and also they are very esoteric. We can do rituals of shamanismo here in the San Island. This is one of the ports that have the San Island. This is the famous Moon Island. Here have the zip line, as I mentioned. This is a trekking to go to the north zone of San Island, and this is a famous hydrofoils, no, that also we can work. In San Island, you have to know that there are not too much luxury hotels. Okay, we have this is one of them that is Estancia Lodge. It's the biggest hostel also in San Island. Um, we suggest on this that this hotel is on the top of the San Island, so it takes about 40 minutes to arrive to this hotel. Most of the passengers like this hotel, but it's very tired to do this trekking. And it's important that passengers knows about this, no? That is very nice, the hotel, but it's in the top, and the view is also beautiful. Now we continue to the valley zone, the valley region. One of them is Sucre. You can take a flight from La Paz to Sucre that takes about 45 minutes. Only at the moment, we have only one airline that goes to Sucre, that is BOA. And also you can go by road, but takes about 13 hours. Okay. The days of overnight, I suggest to be 2 nights minimum. So you can arrive to Sucre and realize the city tour. Also visit this Glorieta Palace that is a lot of tourists goes there to visit to take photos because it's a palace in Sucre. And here is the Calorco that I mentioned before about the dinosaurs. For family and kids, they love it. Um, this Katun Jampara is a vivential tourism. This is a community in Sucre that you can go and check the weavers, and also you can see the llamas to check how they feed. It's a possibility that also you can overnight there, but you can know that it's a vivential experience, no? Tarabuco is a market that only opens on Sunday. You can do a full day Hatun Tarabuco, but only on Sundays to visit. Candelaria is other community that is about 30 minutes from here that you can also visit. And this part that mentioned Valle Grande is the famous old route of Che Guevara, who is a revolutionary Argentina that have their last days in in Bolivia. It's important to know that this part is that a very adventure experience. They are not luxury hotels. Most of them are basic lodges. So if passengers like about the Che Guevara and like the experience to hiking and overnighting in lodges, this is a good alternative. This is Sucre. As you can see, it's very colonial. It's one of my favorite cities in Bolivia because the weather also is very nice. It's not too cold like La Paz. As you can see, also there are not too much buildings, big buildings. Most of them are homes or houses. Um this is the Cathedral of Sucre, the Basilic, San Francisco Basilic. Sucre is called the White City, as you can see, because all is white. This is another food. This is the market. This is the National Palace, the Cretaceous Park or Calorco Park, Glorieta, as I mentioned, and Tarabuco. No, important to note that this is only on Sunday. One of the luxury hotels in Sucre, on boutique that only have 6 rooms. This is a new hotel, about 5 years, more or less. Paraor Santa Maria, one of the biggest hotels in Sucre, and Pueblo Samari also is a boutique hotel. Okay, as you can see, most of the hotels are very colonial. That is the style of Sucre. Potosí. Uh, how you can get Potosí? In Potosí, there are no airports. You have to go by Potosí by transport. It's possible to realize it by private transport and public transport. Unfortunately, Bolivia in this route, Sucre, Potosí, they are not so nice the buses. They are very standards, but it's possible to take a private transport that takes about 3 hours from Sucre to Potosí. And then you can continue the route to Uni. That are 3 hours and a half more. Most of the passengers decide to stop in Potosí and overnight in Potosí. The reason to not do a large route. But if they want to have a stop in Potosí to do mines or to do a city tours and visit the Santa Teresa convent, or only a city tour or only to lunch, is possible. Okay. Uh, for me, it's a nice stop to do mines because the experience to visit mines, but it's going depends. In Potosí, there are not too much luxury hotels. There are only one in Potosí, the center of Potosí, that is Coloso, that is the only 5-star hotels. And then we have the other hotel that is Cayara, Hacienda Cayara, where you can do some excursions there because they have like you can do how to get the milk or another vivencial tour. But Cayara is about 30 minutes from Potosí there. So you don't have nothing in Cayara. You have to take your dinner there, your lunch there. And most of the people decide to be in the center of Potosí that they can walk. No? So if you, as I mentioned, you can do Sucre Uni directly, Sucre Potosí, and overnight in Potosí with some excursion the first day when you arrive, a city tour, and the next day you can do the mines and go to Uni, or you can also go directly. Okay, this is Potosí. It's a nice city. It's totally different, as you can see from of Sucre. This is Andes. It's very little Potosí. This is their principal main square, 10 November. This is one of the Potosí streets. This is the Basilica, the Cathedral of Potosí. This is one of the most important museums in Potosí, the National Mint, which is included in the city tour. This is the mines of Potosí, Cerro Rico. And that is the interesting to visit the mines of Potosí because, as you can see, our passengers are going to be a miner for one day. Now, this tour takes about 3 hours, more or less. The tourists start to visiting the market to buy some important things to give to the tío. Which is the tío? The tío is not a man. It's like like a paint that we offer to enter to the mine. Okay, and it's very interesting activity. Also, if you if there are explosions, something, no, you are in another part, a touristic part, but you can see the miners. This is the Hotel Cayara, as I mentioned, a nice hotel in Potosí. And now we go to Uyuni, the highlights and all the, the reason that most of the passengers goes to Bolivia. Uyuni, you can go by flight. It's 1 hour of flight. We have only one flight per day in the morning, and for the return from Uyuni to La Paz is also one day. Is all the days, excuse me, one flight per day, also in the morning. So um, uh, about 3 years, 4 years before the pandemic, we have more flights. Now we don't have, only we have two airlines. One of them is BOA, and the other is Decojet that goes to Uni. Okay, so it's very important to check the availability of hotels and also of the flights, because if the flight is full and for the we can do it, or we can take a nice touristic bus that we have in La Paz, but takes about 10 hours on road. Okay, this is uni tour. We can do uni tour a full day, a 2 days 1 night, 3 days 2 nights, or 4 days 3 nights. Most of passengers take the full day or the 3 days 2 nights. What you visit in a full day? In a full day, you visit only the salt flat. In the salt flat you can do the picnic lunch, you have the sunset, and you visit the Inkawasi Island. Okay, here. Okay. Then, if you want to visit the 3 days 2 nights, passengers first night are going to overnight here and visit all the salt flat, and the second day passengers are going to get into the National Baroa Reserve. Okay, here you can find the lagoons. We talked before the flamingos. The flamingos are going to visit in this part in the National Baroa Reserve. And is here the red lagoon. Here is the stone tree, as you can maybe you check in photos or itineraries that we sell. And the last day, you visit the green lagoon. You have the alternative to continue to Chile, or you have the alternative to return to Uyuni. Okay, here we finish services in Ito Cajon, and you continue services with our operator, Pure Chile, or your operator. Okay, and continue to San Pedro Atacama and go to Santiago. That is the reason you can do a 3 days that is more complete, or a full day. This is the full day. You visit that Train Cemetery, Inkawasi Island, and Colchani, Uyuni. If you want to do a 2 day 1 night, it's possible. What you visit in a 2 day 1 night, you can visit the first day all the salt flat, and the second day about here is the Tunupa volcano. Okay, where you can sorry, where you can find the mummies of Coquesa. Okay, here you have it. So most of you mentioned about the hotels, Palacio de Sal, or the luxury hotels in in Colchani or in Uyuni. In Uyuni, they are not luxury hotels. Here in this part, Uyuni is the Uyuni town. Okay, that is near to the airport. The luxury hotels are in Colchani, which is about 25 minutes from the airport to Colchani. In this part, you have the Palacio de Sal, sorry, Palacio de Sal, Luna Salada, and Cristal Samaña. Okay? Palacio and Luna Salada are a 4 5 star hotel, for superior or luxury. No? Cristal Samaña is a 3 star hotel. It's not a luxury, but it's in the Sal flat. That is the advantage that they have. But it's not a luxury hotel. So if passengers decide to stay in Colchani, the first option that maybe I'm going to mention to you is Palacio Luna. If they don't have, I suggest Cristal Samaña, but you know how is it. Or at last, they have to stay in Uyuni. Okay, that you have a lot of options there of 3 star hotels. This is the train cemetery. You can visit this the first day. It's very near to Uni, about 15 minutes. This is the initial of the tour. This is the Uni Sal Flat. You can do yoga there. This is a fly square. Now Uyuni have another fly square because this fly square is full, so they do another. This is the Sal Museum that is also in the Sal Flat. This is most of the common question that passengers have or clients have: the dry season, the rainy season. What is the best option or the best day that you can go? That is the best season. Both of them are nice, but if you want the reflect that here is from December to April. That is the high season. From May to November is the dry season. If you go in the rainy season, it's possible that you can't visit the Inkawasi Island because the jeep can't get into the Inkawasi. It's too much water, so they can into. And if they have to Nupa also, it's not possible to do it. So the dry season, you can do it. But uh, in the dry season, it's possible also that you can go to some parts in Uyuni because it's too big, that you have this reflect, but it's not all the side flat. It's only one a little part maybe to take the photo. Also, I forgot to mention that you can do an stargazing tour in Uyuni. When you have a full day or in the first day, you can do an stargazing tour. That you can is the best also is when they are not moon, no, because to see the stars. So that is important information. Well, I continue with the photos. This is in Kawasi Island, where is the cactus. It's like a little trekking, about 40 minutes. Near there, you can take your lunch. The guide decide with the transport where is going to take the lunch, the famous picnic lunch that you have in the middle of the sand flat. This is one of the sunset. Also, if you have passengers that have an idea of proposal wedding, here is one of them. You can do it in the salt flat. Also, escapes, no, or honeymooners is very nice to do there. The luxury spa that only have a Palacio de Sala Luna Salada. There is the only hotels in Colchani that have, and in Uyuni, Jardines Uyuni, one of the hotels that also have this alternative, and the luxury properties that I mentioned before. This is important information about the hotels in Uyuni. When you take the alternative of 3 days, 2 nights in Uyuni, you go to Malcucueva or Taica del Desierto. Okay, these are the only two options of hotels. As you can see, they are not luxury properties. They are hotels, nice hotels with with heating, with dinners, and all the things that you need. Because if you don't stay here in this hotel, Malco, uy, sorry, or in Taica del Desierto, you have to overnight in basic lodges. The basic lodges are very different. Okay, so this is the only two hotels that we have. One of these, Malco Cueva, is in Villamar, and the other is Taica del Desierto. The route changed a little bit. Is you are going to visit all, but if you overnight in Malco Cueva, you are not going to visit the stone tree. Okay, if you overnight in Taica del Desierto, you are going to visit the stone tree. That is the only difference. Then you are going to visit all the lagoons. You are going to see the flamingos. You are going to go to the hot springs and polques and all the photos that you have, all the itineraries you have. But that is the only difference. So if we don't have Michael Cueva, maybe go to Taika, and if we don't have Taika, they go to Malco. If there are not these two options, we check, we send you another alternative with photos if you wanted to visit or change the date. This is Palacio de Sal, one of the luxury hotels. As you can see, is in front the Sal Flat, and this is Luna Salada. The difference of this is that Luna Salada is like in a little mountain that have the view of the salt flat, and here no, you don't have the sea, the view of the side flat, totally. So, but both hotels are very nice. Both hotels are big. Both hotels have a pool and also have the spa. So, are very both nice hotel are very nice. Well, I mentioned Taika, and this is Cristal Samana, that is a salt hotel, but very different as you can see in the other two. And this is Santa Cruz, is the most important city in Bolivia, is the economic, the strong economic in Bolivia. So here we can do incentive, we can do also tours, but most of the tours in Santa Cruz are outside of Santa Cruz. They are not into. Into Santa Cruz, we can get a city tour, or we have good, very good restaurants. They also eat very nice hotels. So it's a good idea, but the excursion, important excursion, is outside Santa Cruz. Okay. You can start the tour also from Santa Cruz. That I think is better because passengers acclimatize perfectly, and you can take a flight uh, from Santa Cruz to Sucre, then continue to Potosí, then continue Uyuni, and finish in La Paz. So it's another alternative that passengers have if they don't want to go to the altitude in the first day, so they can go to Amazon, to Santa Cruz. That is very hot and have very nice hotels. This is the Cathedral of Santa Cruz. This is a Gembevio Center where are pools, also animals, and also if passengers like about flowers. So this thing you can visit here. It's about 30 minutes from Santa Cruz. This is the Missions Jesuit in Chiquitos. It's about 2 hours from Santa Cruz, and we suggest uh, to to do this excursion in 3 days, 2 nights. Okay, um, very important to visit. The gastronomic experience in Santa Cruz is totally different in La Paz. Here you have important restaurants. The meat is very, very good. This is the Samaipata Fort, one of the most important, is a must that passengers have to visit here in Santa Cruz. It's about 2 hours and a half to visit. And you can stay in Samaipata also. There are nice hotels there. Amboro National Park. um, you can do Amboro and the Fort of Samaipata in a full day. If you want, you can overnight also in this Amboro National Park. I think the picture is very little, but here very little is like a house. This is the name of Refugio de los Volcanes, which is in the middle of the National Amboro Park, and there are only like 6 rooms. So it's perfect if passenger wants to disconnect totally of the city, not to stay there. This is Lomas de Arena. This is the dunes. Like in Peru, we have in Ica the sandboarding. Here also we can do it. Not sandboarding with some jeeps and visit this. And this is the Che Guevara route. As I mentioned, we can start in Santa Cruz or we can start in Sucre. The hotels, Datajibos, one of the best hotels in Santa Cruz, which have about 4 restaurants. Camino Real Suites and Hotel Cortés. Well, the pure elements you know, pure adventure, pure romance, pure family, and pure wellness. And I think, Sebas, I put the video or is not necessary?
Yeah, that would be great if you can plug in the video so people can.
Okay, let me check if I can do it. Okay.
There's
Now it's
no
okay.
audio.
Excuse me.
There's no audio.
Oh,
So
I
you need to
don't.
go back to your screen,
Okay.
and then under the three dots next to the hand,
Okay.
you go to settings,
Okay.
and
Wait. Sorry. 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 Okay.
then you put in audio. Um,
I really don't know here.
yeah, on speaker. Yeah,
Here.
yeah. Try it there.
Okay. I will try. I hope we can realize this. Oh, wait, please.
Yeah, you need to.
Now, yes.
No, no. But anyways, we can send the video with the presentation as well, so you can use it. But you can just see a little bit of like what Luis was speaking about in the different regions of Bolivia.